like, oh, we want to make it a safe place. Please don't shoot up the warehouse. What's good, medics? It's time to clock in. Today's video we got by Degenerocity, My Job Experience. I've had a lot of jobs growing up. I worked at McDonald's, I worked at Zaxby's, I also worked at Starbucks. I'm a real like job switcher.
Today, I'll be talking about one of humanity's biggest fears. A job! This is a horrifying
Jump scare.
path that almost everybody will have to eventually face in their life, whether we like it or not. And most of the time, we don't. But everyone has to get their bread somehow, so we just gotta suck it up and pray that we win the lottery or our parlay hits one day, because let's be for real, nobody want a job. Like, unless you got real...
bro. Also, are y'all hitting parlays? Like, my first parlay on draft picks was the Jake Paul and Tyson fight. Never again, bro. Lost $40.
Real aspirations for a certain type of work. I think most of us, if given a magical opportunity to get paid however much you get paid now and not work that job again, we would take it. Because most of us see jobs as a way to get by in life and try to make ends meet. There's no room for you to pursue passions in this economy. You better second guess that art degree and major in business so you can be an executive marketing promoter for $1 billion company. But I digress.
That's facts, bro. Everybody would tell us, yo, you gotta go to college. And I'm not one of the ilk that be like, yo, college is a scam and all of that. But when you go to college, it definitely shouldn't be for art or psychology, because you can't do nothing with those degrees. Especially with art degrees, like, you would be better off, you know, finding a community in whatever like arts that you do than actually going to college and paying for like these gen ed classes that have nothing to do with your major. As opposed, if you go to like if you go to like a business, if you go get a business degree, I can see where college would be useful, so you can like have more opportunities to do internships and stuff. But if you have like an arts degree, the opportunities, I feel like a lot of the times are online, and you do not need to go to school to learn how to do art. You don't need to pay $60,000 to learn how to do classical art.
I'm just saying, I doubt that is most people's passions to work at a 9 to 5 at a warehouse lifting boxes. I don't mean any disrespect, but am I wrong? Plus, it's fun being unemployed. As long as you got a roof over your head and don't need to worry about bills, most likely because you still live with your parents, then why would you want a job? That sounds like it's taking away your time from being grandmaster on Rivals and watching reels. Nah, that's too much. But eventually you want to get your own stuff. You know, young boy tickets ain't free. Or life really hits you in the face and...
How much are young boy tickets? I'm curious now. How much is young boy? $66? 60 is a lot when you don't got a job.
Eventually we all have to get a job. However, you know what's harder than actually deciding...
Jobs would be way better. Cause like what he's talking about is facts, like the fact that people have to just like, it's crazy that we gotta go to work to survive instead of going to work to live. I don't have a soundboard, but I definitely would press the sound effect if I have my soundboard set up. But like, it's crazy that people gotta work a crazy amount of hours to barely afford rent and stuff, and like work is basically their life, and then you're like at a warehouse. You can't enjoy life working at a warehouse. Now, if warehouse jobs paid more, and you only had to go in like 4 times a week, I think people would, you know, complain less about having a job. But I feel like jobs just take so much of your life away from you that you can't even live.
Deciding to get a job, finding one that hires you. I swear you could send 100 applications to 100 different places and all of them would still ghost you. You think with how many job openings you see, the businesses are desperate to find people. But nah, it feels like they're posting it as bait, just to mess with people. Or
jobs gotta stop making their requirements so high, bro. Like, I remember when I was 19, I applied to a Target and it was asking me all types of like weirdo questions, like, why do you want to work here? What do you mean, why do I want to work at a Target? I want money. I'm not here for community at a freaking Target.
Or steal your info. Not only that, if this is your first job, you're gonna have a harder time, because even the quote-unquote entry-level jobs are asking for a qualification of having prior experience. Like, isn't that what this job is for? How?
They be like, yo, you need a 4-year degree and 2 years of job experience for this internship that pays $7.25 an hour.
Someone's supposed to get experience and not be homeless, while almost every decent paying job requires that. And trying to apply for a job on LinkedIn or Indeed is like sending your application into a void. I swear none of those people be reading them. You could have the most stacked profile on LinkedIn. You got a bachelor's, master's, discovered the cure for cancer. Then you send in an application for your dream job to your dream company. Then they write back to you saying, we've read your application. Unfortunately, the CEO's daughter has took your position that you applied for, so get the fuck on.
And it's so crazy how, like, it's really about who you know in every industry. Because like he said, you can have a stacked resume. You can even lie on your resume, bro. By the way, whenever you do set up a resume, you just gotta be a good liar, bro. Don't tell the truth, bro. That 1 year gap in your work history, make something up, bro. Again, it's like he said, bro. You can have the most stacked resume, but you know, nepotism and like friendships and like all of that is always gonna supersede, you know, some random stranger that's more qualified than somebody that you know or somebody that they know.
Back when I was still applying for jobs, I literally gave up on sending applications on those sites because I'd never get a response back. Like, damn, was my application that bad? Even when your application does get noticed and you get set up for an interview, you still gotta go through some more bullshit-ass questions. Why did you choose our business? You're hiring. Like, what's up? What is your main motivation to get your work done? Money? What else am I here for? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Hopefully not here. That's just me being honest with my answers. What do you want me to do? Work here for the rest of my life? This is a Wendy's.
I'm saying, bro.
So you gotta lie with any question they ask.
Certain establishments should be banned from asking questions. Like Wendy's should not be asking me, oh, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Because if you don't like my answer of me, you know, somewhere being in 10 years, not at Wendy's, and you don't hire me because of that, it's like, what are we doing, bro?
Ask. You have to make yourself look as good as possible, so you gotta fake it till you make it. Even if they asked you a stupid question like, would you still work this job even if there was no pay? You say absolutely.
Is that a real question? I've never been asked that. If an interviewer asked me, yo, would you work here if there were no pay? I think I would freeze. I think I'd freeze up because my body would be wanting me to tell the truth. Like, my body would be wanting me to be like, fuck no. Like, what do you mean would I still be working here? No.
Always wanted to be a slave. Congratulations. You have successfully become employed. The end of your life starts Tuesday. After starting a job, I feel after the first week, you can find out whether you like it or quit it the next month. And it won't be the job itself to motivate this decision.
That's facts. I said earlier I worked at McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's for 3 weeks, bro. 3 weeks. I'm telling you, one of the hardest jobs I've ever had. McDonald's. Bro, it was just so bad. I didn't get trained. I worked at the drive-thru. There was always this one, like, lady every day. This one old lady in this red, old, dusty-ass pickup truck, bro. She would come and she would complain about her fish fillet sandwich every day. Like, oh, y'all didn't cook this good enough. And, like, just things like that. It was flies in the tea that I served to people. I'm sorry. I was gonna keep that deep in the grave, but you know it's out now. It's on the internet. But it was just a nasty establishment. McDonald's, I've working many fast food restaurants. Like, you realize how nasty the food is that they serve you because a lot of the places are not sanitary at all. Like, there was a time I was literally serving tea and a fly just plopped out of the tea machine and just fell into the cup. And I was in a rush. I was getting rushed by my manager, so I just served the cup out still. I'm living my truth.
It's your boss and co-workers.
Here go my boss.
They can make or break this whole thing. If you happen to get a chill boss and co-workers you can vibe with, that's amazing. That's how my last real job was. I used to be a waiter for weddings and other events. That job low-key had me stressing because I wasn't good at the start. I was awkward taking orders. I would mess up orders. And one time I even dropped a whole tray of food I was carrying at the wedding. Best believe I didn't get tips that day. And what would get me kind of jealous is that some of my co-workers would walk out and carry 2 trays full of food.
Dang, they stacking them plates. Low-key, don't stack my food like this, though. Like, How hot do you gotta be? I would be extremely hot if like they passing out food, right? Everybody's food gets served and mine is on the bottom right here, bro. I would be so hot if this was my plate. I'd be like, bro, give me another plate, man.
Trays full of food on one shoulder. Like, damn, bro, are you Samoan? Those trays are mad heavy and so out of balance. But you know what kept me going? It was the fun time I had with my coworkers and boss. They were cool as hell. We had a carpool to get to the events. It was always a vibe and a good time. They made my experience. Imagine working a 16-hour...
I never really had coworkers that were like, this is my favorite coworkers. I think my last like actual 9-to-5 job was a desk job at my university, and they were chill there, but I wasn't really showing up to work like, yes, I'm so glad that I see this person. I've never had like a coworker bestie type of vibe. I've always just showed up just to get my pay. I'm one of those employees. I'm not the social employee. Yo, what is in my background, bro? Yowie? I just got Crunchyroll on.
Hour shift and walking out of it happy. One day I clocked in for a double shift for a wedding to get to the events. It was always a vibe and a good time. They made my experience. Imagine working a 16-hour shift and walking out of it.
That's his digital footprint. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Happy. One day I clocked in for a double shift for a wedding and a Sweet 16 at 9:30 a.m. and clocking out at 1:30 a.m. Granted, I was dead after that shift and had to take off my shoes more than once, but I got $60 worth of tips and went to Wawa after work, so I felt like Gucci. And I believe I only felt like this because the environment I was around was nice. Sometimes. I've had to serve some aggressive people at some points.
Yeah, it's my birthday today. What can I get out here for free? You a bitch.
If I had
Bro, I never really was rude to fast food employees before I started working fast food, but after working fast food, it makes me not even like want to bother fast food employees anymore, because like I really don't understand how people are so comfortable like talking so crazy to these fast food workers, bro. Like, people be so upset over a $5 combo, bro. Like, there be videos and like compilations of people at these McDonald's like fighting cashiers because they got their order wrong, bro. It's so ridiculous. It's so crazy.
Trash co-workers or a trash boss, I would have not stayed at that job for long. I have zero patience for bullshit. Literally. Like example, the first job I've ever had in my senior year of high school, I was a janitor at a warehouse. I had no co-workers, so I had nobody to talk to, and my boss was not a bad person, but a bad boss. I'd be working shifts that were 2 to 3 hours every few days, cleaning the break rooms, hallways, and bathrooms. So my pay wasn't even that good, but since I was still in school, I was just thinking, I'm making money and I got more time to study and goon. That sounds like a win-win. But when payday arrived, I would only be paid for half the hours I worked, sometimes less. I was already barely working as is, combined with a salary of $13 an hour, cleaning up pee-pee and poo-poo. Man, I'm not taking it. Plus, he only paid me through Cash App. You've ever had a job that only paid you through Cash App? Man, I had to go. I only worked there for a few weeks. He did pay me the rest of the money after, so he cool, but man, warehouse jobs are not it. My patience dwindled faster when I got accepted at BJ's
is crazy. I worked at Amazon for 2 days. I did the week of orientation, but the week of orientation is like freaking pro-Amazon propaganda where it's like, oh, we want to make it a safe place. Please don't shoot up the warehouse. I'm not kidding. Like, they literally had like I think the second day we went over safety protocols, and the longest safety protocols was just in case there's an active shooter situation. So if you're working a warehouse job, they have protocols just in case people like go crazy and crash out because they're working at a warehouse job and their life sucks. But freaking yeah, warehouse jobs are no joke. I always try to get people to not work a warehouse job. Like, warehouse jobs are you should really only be applying to a warehouse job if you have nowhere else to go, or if you're like not doing heavy lifting at a warehouse. Hey, if you're just like stocking at a warehouse, then cool. But if you have to like wrap boxes and carry boxes, bro, it's like you're going to the gym for 5 hours a day, every day, doing arms and legs. Like it's nuts. I'm pressing the wrong button.
DJs, and I worked there for 1 day. I asked to go to the bathroom and left during orientation. I discovered they weren't what they advertised. How you gonna call yourselves BJs without expecting people to have certain expectations?
This nigga's so freaky, bro.
That's false advertising. So I left. That wasn't really the reason. I just didn't want to work in the freezer. That's when I started my waiting job, then YouTube, and now here I am. Unemployed.
Hey, nice.
I'm just saying I can understand it.
Unemployed. Don't let him lie to y'all, bro. 1.9 views, bro. I mean, this video ain't 8 minutes, so you don't got no mid-roll ads. But if I was to pocket watch, bro, 1.9 million views on a YouTube video, I'm not gonna lie, the ads kind of go crazy, bro. And he might have membership stuff. Oh, I'm not subscribed. Let me sub.
The struggles of looking for and having a job, especially the ones you only take to make ends meet. And the unemployed life can be really fun when you have stuff to fall back on. If not, it will only be short-term satisfaction. Eventually, you have to get a career, deal with any of the shortcomings of it, and do that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
The American dream.
Yeah.
So when looking for a job, make sure to get one that you like if you have the privilege to do so. That's all I really wanted to say. And in conclusion, enjoy unemployment while you still can. Different strokes for different folks.
Hey man, Degenerocity, bro. Always funny. I say always funny. I know I just subscribed to him this video, but I feel like I just wasn't subscribed to him. But he has nice videos. But hey, let me know what you thought of this video. I thought it was pretty factual. Nice comedy and stuff. How did I turn a 7-minute video into 17 minutes? I'm so sorry for yapping. Goodbye.